In the realm of campaign finance and political contributions, few cases have garnered as much attention and controversy as Citizens United v. Federal Election Commission, 2010. This landmark Supreme Court case has had a profound impact on the way elections are funded and has sparked widespread debate about the role of money in politics. The case revolves around the conflicting principles of freedom of speech and the potential for corruption in political campaigns. The origins of the Citizens United case trace back to a conservative nonprofit group called Citizens United. In the 2008 election cycle, Citizens United sought to air a critical documentary called Hillary the Movie. The Federal Election Commission, FEC, deemed the movie an electioneering communication and restricted its broadcast under the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act, BCRA, of 2002, commonly known as the McCain-Feingold Act. Citizens United disagreed with the FEC's decision and believed it infringed upon their freedom of speech rights. They filed a lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of the BCRA's provisions that limited corporate spending on political advertising. The case escalated to the Supreme Court, marking its significance as it pertained to the First Amendment and the influence of corporate money on elections. On January 21, 2010, the Supreme Court announced its decision, ruling 5-4 in favor of Citizens United. The majority opinion, written by Justice Anthony Kennedy, held that political spending is a form of protected speech under the First Amendment. The decision effectively struck down key provisions of the BCRA and opened the floodgates for increased corporate and union spending in elections. One of the key arguments made by the majority was that limiting corporate spending on political campaigns violated the principle of free speech. They argued that corporations, like individuals, should be able to use their financial resources to express their political viewpoints and support candidates without undue restrictions. This ruling also extended protections to labor unions and other interest groups, allowing them to participate more actively in elections. Critics of the decision, including the dissenting justices, argued that it would lead to increased influence of money in politics and the potential for corruption. They contended that the ruling essentially equated money with speech, giving those with greater financial resources an unfair advantage in shaping election outcomes. The decision also drew attention to the issue of dark money, with concerns that corporations and individuals could now anonymously funnel vast sums into campaign advertising. The impact of Citizens United has been far-reaching. It has fundamentally reshaped the landscape of campaign finance, paving the way for the rise of super PACs, political action committees, and allowing corporations and unions to spend unlimited amounts on independent expenditures. The decision also gave birth to the concept of corporate personhood, where corporations are entitled to certain constitutional rights traditionally reserved for individuals. In subsequent elections, the effects of the Citizens United ruling became increasingly apparent. The influx of corporate and union spending led to an unprecedented surge in political advertising, particularly through television and other media platforms. The absence of restrictions on campaign contributions also raised concerns about the potential for undue influence and the diminishing role of small donors in elections. Efforts to overturn or limit the influence of Citizens United have been ongoing. Various reform proposals, such as a constitutional amendment to overturn the ruling or increased disclosure requirements for political spending, have been introduced but face significant challenges. The issue remains highly divisive, with proponents arguing for the protection of free speech rights and opponents emphasizing the importance of limiting the influence of money in politics. In conclusion, Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission, 2010, stands as a landmark case that continues to shape the way elections are financed in the United States. Its interpretation of the First Amendment and the recognition of political spending as a form of protected speech have provoked heated debates about the role of money in politics. As the nation grapples with questions of campaign finance reform, the legacy of Citizens United remains an enduring topic of discussion and controversy.